Hello, folks. My name is William Wofford here with Black Trek, which is one of our sub shows of the Truckers Delight umbrella. How are you doing, Jermaine?
I'm doing well. You know what? That intro never gets old
It
at
never gets
all.
old. I was actually just thinking that. You know what? This is actually the perfect time to bring this up because in today's episode, which is episode 4, and I hope I'm counting that correctly, is what is Black representation? What is representation at all? I really wanted to tell you this, Jermaine. I would think I might have texted it to you, but I never actually said it. When I made that intro, I wanted it to be made clear. I wanted it to be made clear about the representation we are, what kind of representation we are, what we are looking for. And it's not to say that this is a black only, Truckers Delight is a black only platform, but more so it's emphasized that it is a black inclusive platform, that everyone is welcome, because we see everything else and everyone else. Like faith of the heart. Like, I'm just like, bruh. I mean, it's good. It's great. But so I've literally put, so when I was looking for images of black men, I was like, I want to see his eyes, and I don't want him. I do not want a stereotype. I do not want to see him in cuffs. I literally said, folks, I actually said to Jermaine earlier, African Americans, but black folks in particular, can make their best content off the cuff when they're not in cuffs. Represent. So, man, like, so today is really, really interesting because it opens the whole door to an array of topics, but we're going to try and keep it short and sweet for you because we have a whole series coming up. Knowing that it's Black History Month, happy Black History Month, everyone. Fun fact, did you know that Black History Month actually started as Black History Week, which was started by a black man? So learn your history a little bit before you decide to cancel the whole month. So anyway, Jermaine, what's been going on? Like, how you been? How's your day going? Like, what do you have, like, any thoughts about, well, intro thoughts about what representation is to you?
Wow, heavy question. What is
I know, right?
representation to me? So representation means quite a few different things.
Right.
But I think I could sum it up um, by saying I need to see it, and I need my lived experiences valued and validated in different ways. Um, for instance, I need to see me on television, not just in a supporting role. I need to see a main character um, or two. For a long time, it was just that one little black character who was always like on every other show. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And then also, I need I need to understand that you understand what it is to be black. So that means that there needs to be someone at the table making decisions that we don't see who could say, nah, that's not the direction you want to go. Not if you want this, you know, in your sphere, meaning this black culture in your sphere. So like representation to me means all of that. It needs to be baked in the cake. It needs to be one of the ingredients. Otherwise, I'm not eating it.
Okay. That's good. That's a good answer. What I feel like representation is to me, I echo everything you just said. I guess to put it into my own words, what is representation to me? I normally, when I watch films, I don't give it a 10 out of 10 unless I can relate to it on a personal level. And I cannot relate to it on a personal level if I do not see proper representation. I don't necessarily have to say that it is William per se, but is it similar? Is the situation they portray accurately similar to to someone else's situation that I know that looks like me, right? Because not every black man and black woman or black LGBT character's story is the same, but they are very similar. And when we are portrayed how are we portrayed?
Mm.
Is it because a stereotype can mean positive and negative?
Mhm.
So, but me personally, I don't want it to go one way or the other. I want it to be in the middle where I consider it to be realistic.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
show me both, show me an equilibrium of both. Don't show me this a fantasy that we all know, at least in today's time, we can hope, but we can never truly live. And don't show me something that we've been living or worse when we literally see it on the news every day when they take another one of us in cuffs for something that's stupid. So when I think of representation, and I know I'm going off the cuff with this, but when I think representation, I need you to make me feel something. I need you to make me reflect on my life or someone else's life that looks like me. If that makes any sense at all.
No doubt. It makes 100% sense.
Okay. Yeah. So at do you feel that in terms of Star Trek, we have reached representation?
Whew. Okay, so I definitely
Ooh.
feel that we've reached a new level, a new height in representation. And this is why I say this. And I'm specifically thinking and talking about Discovery,
Yes.
not just because of who we see as the lead or who is one of the male leads on that show. I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about the directing. I'm also talking about the writing. I'm also talking about the producing, the executive producing. So this particular show was probably one of the first Star Trek shows that had all of that. I don't believe there was ever a producer that was, sitting at the table making decisions, even thinking about the financing of this of Star Trek. Yeah, you had Avery Brooks in Deep Space Nine. That was great. I'm never going to take anything away from that. Discovery, however, has writers that are dedicated in portraying like subtle things that I see Sonequa Martin Sonequa Martin's character do that is uniquely black. I'm not even talking about her hair. I'm talking about like how she chooses to express herself without saying words. She'll cut those eyes in a second and you know what she's thinking. That's what I'm talking about. In terms of like making certain decisions. Also, yes, the characters, that we see. Um, the one critique that I have is that there is no character on the show who is uniquely black. However,
Right.
what we do have, and what I mean by uniquely black is okay. So Book's character, he's not black, right? He's from Quajon.
Right.
Burnham, her character, while she is black, basically is Vulcan. Like her culture is Vulcan.
Basically.
Um, However, we do have lower decks, right?
Yes.
And those characters, meaning the captain and her daughter, they are black.
They are black.
Got the black hair to prove got the black hair to prove the attitude to prove it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and
The relationship, everything.
all of it. And that was another thing that I wanted to talk about. Ooh,
Oh,
thank you, Jesus. You just reminded me. Have you noticed that within Star Trek, with the possible exception of Beverly Crusher and her son, however, I still have like an issue with that. It's only through the black characters that we see real family dynamics play themselves out. Have you noticed that?
I have noticed that. Like, even with we actually discussed this in a relationship episode in November. It was before the show took form, where we talked about the relationship between fathers and sons in Star Trek, and we homed in on Benjamin and Jake.
Okay.
And when this was like somewhere around before Thanksgiving, and when we talked about it, I voiced that I really appreciated how unapologetic he was in showing love for his son, because where others would view that as gay or weak or too feminine or sissy. Why would you kiss your son on the forehead? Well, wait, why wouldn't you? Like, has it not occurred to you that he is a single dad? Like, there are single moms. We have plenty of single moms. Crusher is a single mom. Like, but do we have a single dad? Right? Because an unfortunate stereotype and truth in our community is that a lot of our children are raised by their grandparents.
True. Very true.
For reasons I can't even begin to conceive. But that said,
you can conceive them. We
I
just
can conceive them.
we might not understand the root cause.
Oh yeah. But yeah, but when I looked at their relationship, I understood their relationship. I got their relationship. They had a relationship.
And to be honest with you, it looked a whole lot like the relationship I saw my uncle have with his son.
Yeah.
I mean, the only difference was he was kissing his son on the lip. Like, I remember, like, my cousin was a
I've
teenager.
only seen a handful of families do that. I don't judge. I said, okay, I know what you mean.
Very affectionate, very affectionate.
I'm gonna pretend like you're from another world and just say and apply the prime directive in this case, and just like, I accidentally, I never told anyone the story. But I'm gonna give the background context first before I say some shit. So
context is everything.
Context is everything. So I had just reached the same height, if not 2 inches taller than my mother. And I was about to walk out the door somewhere. And before I do, we always kiss each other. Goodbye, love you, see you later, blah, 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 blah. Well, her and I were about to kiss each other's cheek at the same time and didn't realize it. We had, and we didn't realize what the other person was doing. And it just, boop, and I was like, oh no. 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 Oh no, 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 no. Oh, no. We do not do that. We do not do that. Okay. And if you wanted any question or verification on whether your son is gay or not, you got it. You sealed the deal. You sealed the fucking deal. That was you. Like, nah, that had nothing to do with Williams' experimental days. You sealed the deal. Hey, I ain't going back. I was never there. Like, it's just, hold up.
You so silly, boy.
And she was fun playing along with it too. She was like, "We never speak of this again." And I said, "I'll let you take it to your grave," and she did. So she 2 years gone now. What's she gonna do? Come back and take my social security number?
Silly.
Like, is that my mom?
No, it's not your mom. Let me call you right back.
Jermaine?
Yes. Next question.
Oh, God. I'm sorry. Okay, next question. So, who the hell was that?
Actually, a friend of mine from college.
Uh-huh. Sure sounded like it.
It was.
I believe you.
I'm glad you do.
Uh-huh. You ain't shit. We got something to talk about after this show. I'm in literal tears right now. Like, anyway. So it's actually funny you should say that, because since moving to Little Rock, a number of people told me, "Hey, William, you look exactly the way you did in college, if not better." Oh, thank you. Just say you want some. That's all you got to do. Like, just give me Oreos. Do you not understand how easy it is to get my attention? Just give me Oreos.
Okay.
That's it. That's
Okay.
it. You do that. But you can bring me an Oreo cake, Oreo Blast from Sonic, just regular Oreos. You can even bring the vanilla kind.
No, I love the vanilla.
Now, here's the thing. Let's say something to you. I dab in the vanilla every now and then.
Oh, I know you do.
Oh, thank you. Let's just make it really known, okay? But and Robin would kill me for saying that. But anyway,
No, she wouldn't. Why
yes,
would
she
she?
would.
Why would
Yes, she
she?
would. She didn't like me liking vanilla Oreos. She wanted me to stick with regular black Oreos. She said that to me.
Will Rogers, this does not compute. This does not compute.
I mean, it's got. I feel like this is that moment where Dorothy and Rose on Golden Girls were talking about each other's cupcakes, and they were talking about two totally different things. She called Dorothy's cupcakes dry and brittle, and Dorothy actually thought she was talking about her cool cat. No, but I love, ladies and gentlemen, I love regular Oreos and I love vanilla Oreos. I believe. I just do, but don't give me no lemon Oreos. That's the quickest way to get bitch slapped. I'm so serious. Anyway, this is what happens on the show. We enjoy each other's company so much that we literally stray off topic.
We go off topic.
Okay, so let's talk about why Black Oreo representation is important. Like, okay, the question. So, all right, genuine question. Compared to other shows that you might have seen that are not B-rated or underground films, I'm leaving those out. Do you believe that Star Trek is ahead or behind in Black representation compared to mainstream media shows and films?
I think Star Trek is behind.
Explain.
I think when Star Trek did Deep Space Nine, they were ahead. They were attempting to do something that was in line with how they started the show. And they were also shedding light on some themes that were critical within Black culture. But that was in the 90s. Okay. And here it is 20 some odd years later. And Star Trek has not progressed with respect to Black culture. In fact, it's kind of stuck where it was.
So it seems like they took Cisco and expanded around him, but they didn't expand out.
Exactly. And to go even further, if they wanted to delve into, especially some of the episodes that were very critical as it relates to the Black culture, they could have done that. They could have done that in Enterprise. They definitely could have. Well, they could have done it in Discovery. They definitely could do that in Picard. They could have done that during Picard's first season, as it related to the Vulcans and the Romulans. They could have delved into that even just a little bit, right? By talking about racism and discrimination, and perhaps how the Romulans had been discriminated against, specifically by the Vulcans. Like, that would have been like, I didn't expect that. I didn't, like, what? Huh? You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been like one episode.
Right.
Here you go. Here's an episode, but that didn't happen. And let me take my comments just a step further.
Yes.
Because what we saw in Deep Space Nine, that was like 20 years ago. first, a lot of our issues have not changed. But second, they have, because they've been highlighted. They've been highlighted more than they've ever been before, mostly because of smart cameras or smartphones, excuse me. Um, and as a result, that has changed our society. And I think that Star Trek could have reflected that in some way. Um, Even if it was just one episode. And I realize sometimes those themes can't be talked about in the type of storyline dramas that they're creating these days, but they could have if they wanted to. And I feel like they haven't.
What do you feel like was reflected when the captain was arrested in Lower Decks?
So I wasn't taking it to race.
I mean, this is Black Trek. What the hell do you think this is it? Like, what do you think we're going to talk about? Bananas and cookies?
No, what I'm saying is the reason for her being arrested wasn't because of her skin color.
You're right, it wasn't. But the way they did it.
So the way
No
they did,
warning,
so
out of
what
nowhere.
the thing that I didn't like about it was you made this public. You didn't have to make this public. This is a Starfleet captain.
Sounds
If
familiar.
anything, you need to like use caution, discretion. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't assume that these charges are
Real.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's that they took it, and I saw what they were trying to do. They were trying to recreate another best of both worlds scenario where they end on one horrible note. We don't know if we're gonna see her again. We don't know, and we know we're gonna see her again. We've watched enough. Well, at least us veteran treks, we know we've been through hell and high water and back, but and the gasoline drawers. So we know we're gonna see her again. But I guess to the new Trek fans and Trekkies and Trekkers, I guess they're, oh my God, are we going to see her again? Are they going to take her away because she's a Black woman? And not seeing enough Trek to know that, don't worry, you'll see her again. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. But I see what they were trying to do, because I haven't seen, other than like, I've seen innocent people put on trial in trial episodes. Picard, Data, the Doctor, EMH. I've seen people put on trial. I've never seen innocent people in Starfleet. I've seen people kidnapped, but I've never seen innocent people arrested by Starfleet. I've never seen that. Have you?
I can't recall.
So I will say on that note, they did break ground with that, but at the same time, I felt like they took advantage of what was going on with BLM the previous year.
Okay, I see how you're weaving it in. Okay,
Yeah,
because
because it's like what Star Trek does, and what all shows do really, is they everything is always a year out of date.
Yeah, it takes a while.
It takes a while for it to reach production. So you have to think about it in terms of the year where they made it. What was going on that year? So yeah.
Okay, so one thing that probably would have made it much more crystalline is if, let's say, she was just like, no, I'm not, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you're not gonna arrest me, I didn't do that, like, what's the, yeah, she, like, immediately, like, everybody was like, well, why are you doing this makes no sense. you know she did like allow them to arrest her, right? If she had protested, like, no, I'm not, they are my proof, you know what I'm saying? And if they had still, drug her away, that to me would have been, that's it.
Like, that's it.
Like this is a clear line between what's happening to her and what's happening in real life social issues.
Right. Because it's like in real life social issues, we don't have a say in the matter at all. If an unprecedented like that were to happen, I mean, like it was really interesting to watch where they were going with that. And it makes me wonder how the third season is going to be when they open it back up. Like, what does a Starfleet tribunal look like? Like, we've seen stuff on holodecks, but have we actually seen an actual court martial?
Yeah, in the original series
Well,
and TNG.
yeah, well, yeah, yeah. I think, yeah. I guess so. I guess so. I mean, it was on the Enterprise, but yeah. But I guess since it's the flagship, I guess that counts. But anyway, but semantics, technicalities, potato, potato. Like, who cares? So, like, I mean, like, oh, by the way, code. Whenever someone says, "Oh, okay,"
Okay.
anyway, so I feel that um the majority of African American characters on Star Trek are just that. They are black characters. That's what they are. And what I mean by that is they do black things sometimes. Very rarely. You would have to be one to know to witness certain things. But it's not as often. Now, one could say, oh, they're in the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, and now 32nd century, get over it. Well, being black is not who you're trying to do or who you're trying to be. It's just who you are, whether you're in the North or in the South. It's just being black. Like how you look, how you see, how you taste, how you smell, how you react, how you act is a whole. It's a cultural based thing. And do I feel that that has been properly represented in Trek? No, I do not. And an example of why I don't is that even Uhura was found to be from Africa. She was not African American.
Well, if you want to go there, neither was Geordi.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I was homing in on what you said earlier about how pretty much Michael was raised the same way Worf was. Like taken at a young age, raised from a young age from a completely different people raised in their beliefs. You got some words. You got some words.
No. Like I actually I was agreeing with you.
Okay.
I was agreeing with you, but I wanted you to say what you were gonna
Yeah,
say.
so there's a bit of a correlation between how her and Worf were raised, but that's more of a comrades topic than this. I think so. Okay. But I think that there's a correlation. I think that in terms of how they were raised, there's something. So if you look at each of the characters, even when you saw Travis Mayweather's episode,
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, oh my god, there's only been one. Only
yeah,
been one.
only one Travis, and he was hot as fuck.
But okay, this is the
And
so he grew up in space, right? And
on
all
a
of his
cargo
family,
ship.
his parents, both of his parents, they were black. Okay, all right, but everyone else around him was all kinds of everything. So how much of the culture did he really have?
There was a snippet of culture, and I'm gonna tell you where it was and how I understood how it could have survived that far. So in the 21st century, one of the things that we are trying to emphasize or will emphasize, however we do it, is generational wealth and heritage and passing on things in the family. that was emphasized in that episode
It really was.
because they didn't want him. They didn't. It's not that
And
they didn't want him
and
to
fighting over it too.
fighting over it. Even when he came back to visit, even when he came back to visit, fighting. Because now, respectfully, Travis wanted to do his own thing, and
Mhm.
he did. And we're glad, because the NXL1 could have very well been destroyed without him. But that said, I appreciated where his parents were coming from because that let me know that they had reached a point where they could pass something on to them, but at the same time, it was a cargo ship,
Mhm.
not a flagship.
Mhm.
Now I get Starfleet is its own entity. I get that.
Mhm.
But I'm talking about, do you still see the wealth gap between
Fucking
this and that?
Fucking right.
There's still a wealth gap. You put and then to add insult to injury, and I don't know if they are the ancestors of Cassidy Yates or not, but she is still a freight captain. Do you notice that the authentically African American characters that are authentic in every way have
Have
lower?
been relegated to a lower class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The only way you could get higher to be a captain, to run a planet, to run a people, is if you were raised by a different alien race, which is still a different race, mind you, or you have some in your fucking DNA. Cisco, unfortunately, is not. I hate to say it, but he's a demigod. I'm sorry. They did pull a Brother Benny on him at the very end. They just did it in a way that didn't get them canceled. Hey, guess what? We decided we're not going to make Deep Space Nine a dream because that would pretty much say F you to all of Trek. We're going to say he's a demigod. Therefore, you can't get mad at him because he's part alien. Which is, in my opinion, just as bad as it being a dream. But that's so if you really want to go into representation,
You can look at it a different way, though. You could look at it a different way. You could say that his mother was akin to Mary.
I
And
appreciate. I mean, that was
and
cool.
he is, their version of Jesus. And so, I mean,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I. It's just they did it in a way that they still got a gold star in the end. They still got a gold star. I'm not taking that from them, but baby, let's get real with it. I don't hate on the man. I love Cisco and I love Deep Space Nine. I'll watch it all over again and say that there's nothing wrong with it. But in terms of someone that is 100% like you or me, where are they at? Where are they?
Well, so she's not 100%. I was about to say, what's her name on Picard? Rafi. I love Rafi. I'm sorry, I just do. I love Rafi. I love Rafi.
Yeah, I love Rafi. I love Rafi.
But she's not 100%.
Why isn't she 100%?
Oh, because she's Hispanic. She's Hispanic.
She is not.
She herself, like the character, not the character, but the actress, she is. But her role, she's playing a Hispanic role. Even her son, like if you look at her son,
I mean, I thought the daddy might have been like Hispanic or something or Indian or whatever. I don't know. Like,
well, I read an article. She is playing basically a Hispanic character.
I didn't hear what.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We haven't delved into her character, like the backstory of her character, but she's playing a Hispanic character who just happens to have some African ancestry.
If I wanted something like that, I would watch Miles Morales play Spider-Man.
You so silly.
Look, okay, guys. Okay, I'm sorry. Look,
But
this
look,
is my mixed Marie shocked face and mixed Jermaine disappointed meme face.
look. So this is why I like Rafi. I like Rafi because she's a mixture of everything. She's a little neurotic. She has drug addiction, alcohol addiction. She has issues with her kids. She has issues with her past, issues at work. And what black person doesn't have all of those at some point?
I mean, what person of color? Like, I mean, all true. All true. Not denying it. Not denying it. I guess it kind of derailed it for me because I loved Rafi because at first I wasn't like resonating with her character, but I didn't really I've always liked her because she, fought alongside Picard to try and do what need to be done. But I didn't feel anything from her until I saw the way she comforted Elnor when he cried on her shoulder.
Interesting.
That because I was like, okay, I saw where you messed up with your son. I saw where you messed up with you. I saw your past. If you say you don't have a past, you're telling a lie what the truth will do.
So I have a question for you. What is it that you need to feel in order to have a connection with someone?
It doesn't have again, it doesn't have to be my story, but I take very seriously the it's not in the pale moonlight. I think it's Reaching for the Stars episode where the 1950s episode in
Mm-hmm.
Deep Space Nine.
Mm-hmm.
I I I take that both metaphorically, physically, and literally, even spiritually at times, because is it possible that the only way to sell a person that looks like a black character to an audience that is predominantly not black by compromising who they are? Maybe not how they act, maybe not what they do, maybe not, but who they are. Because I still think about like when Will stood up for Carlton and because there was like some sort of fraternity thing and Carlton
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get in and Carlton stood up for himself, which is a very rare thing, mind you. He actually did a good job at in that particular scene. He said, "Being black is not who I'm trying to be or what I'm trying to do. It's who I am. It's I am born this way. I am black. I am African." Like, so when I think about the fact that they almost said that they that not they almost said that they almost actually it was written. It was written, but they canned it that Brother Benny would wake up in the 1950s again. And all of Deep Space Nine was a dream. All of it. Do you know what that would have done to us? Do you know how much of a different path that would have put us on? You pretty much validated his worst fear by saying, hey, yes, he was a black man. Yes, he was human. Yes, he was born. He has a human father. Yes, he became Jesus in the end, but none of it was real. None of it was validated. It's like you built this entire arc up and ripped the foundation right from under it. That's what I fear. That's what I feel like is missing. I look for the foundation when I see portrayed African American or black characters. And to everyone else, I believe there should be representation all the way around as you see fit. I do not know what it means to be Hispanic, Latino, Asian, or Filipino. None of it. I don't know what it means to be lesbian or trans. I have no freaking clue. I don't know. But as a black man, I need to see that foundation right there. You don't have to come from Arkansas. You don't have to be raised in the South. You don't have to be William Wesley Walford. But I need I I'm tired of seeing every other Trek character that is not mixed with something that is not compromised by another alien race. They're either all the way white or all the way French with a horrible accent, but the rest of us is just like, oh yeah, he's black, but he was raised there. Oh yeah, he's black, but he's that. Oh yeah, he's black, but he talks like this. Can we have he's just black with no butt at the end? Can we just have that?
So, okay, so if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're saying is we shouldn't have said what we said about Jordy. We shouldn't have said what we said about Worf. Well, even though Worf is not really black.
Well, not really black, yeah.
But or what we said about Uhura. It's like those are conditions as well.
There, yeah, yeah. I never said it was gonna be an easy answer. I mean, like, and it's one of those things that now I'm appreciative of what we have. I am, but I don't like keeping being appreciative. I want to be genuinely thankful. I don't want to be fed. We have received loads with Uhura, with Geordi, arguably Worf, definitely with Cisco, without question, Cisco. Michael Burnham breaking ground every new episode. There's no question about it. Levels are achieved. They are achieved. Progress is made every single episode. But the problem is this: to me, if I were to add to your earlier point you made 20 minutes ago, the reason why I feel like Trek is behind in terms of Black representation is because they do not represent us authentically. They represent us with 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 compromise, with additions or taking away. They either add or subtract from us. And when we are authentic, they make us cargo or freight captains. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. There was nothing.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
In life,
Yeah.
like real life,
Yes.
if you are a successful Black person, do you not think that those successful Black people have been compromised? I mean, I remember at one point we said we in the Black community we said, "Oh, Oprah, she's fake. She's fake." I remember my mom saying it. She's fake. I don't want anything to do with Oprah. She used to call her Ofra. That was her way of putting her down. Ofra.
Offer.
I'm just saying. At some point, I feel if you're successful, you had to compromise something to become successful in the eyes of general community.
Of course.
Now there is such a thing as being successful within the Black community, and the larger community has absolutely no idea who the hell you are. Exactly. Right? That's true. And to that point, I'm with you. I understand 100% exactly what you're saying.
Right. The point that I was making was, I feel like in terms of Trek goes, you can. When I think successful, I don't know what success is in the 24th or 32nd century, but let's just say, if you were successful at that point, you run a ship that has more than 1,000 people. You run a planet. You run a sector. You're not just some.
What about Admiral Cartwright,
who ended up being corrupt?
I mean, it happens. I mean, look at Donald Trump.
Good for him. The only person that I feel that I liked as an authentic African American character, but there was nothing different about him. It was all real. It was all raw. Was Benjamin's father.
Admiral Cartwright. No, I'm just playing.
Let's just say, yeah, he could be an ancestor. Basically, Undiscovered Country was the prequel to Deep Space Nine. So, yeah, since Worf's father's there and in all that stuff.
Good thing that I played footage from that movie.
Oh yeah. Now, because I liked the way they did his character. They didn't make him. I liked it.
So I will say this: being from Louisiana, he messed up a lot of words. He didn't say it right.
Okay, see, that's what it means to you. So, what do you feel like should have been done? What do you feel like should have been
it's just
represented?
like really, really slight. It's really, really slight. It's not it's not the type of thing that really like I'm gonna protest about this. No, it's not that. It's just if you really want it to be authentic, then ask someone who actually lives there. And I could have tell you, no, dude, don't say that. Nah, that ain't right. I can't remember what he said. Even the way he said, the way they said New Orleans. Don't nobody from Louisiana
It's,
say New Orleans.
first of all, it's Nala.
Well, we don't even say Nolans. We just say New Orleans. New Orleans.
See, it's and would you say that saying it like that is a cultural based thing?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not. I'm not saying that what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying.
No,
I'm
I
not.
know that. I know that. Why my knees hurt? But anyway, shut up. Oh, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of here. Damn it! I'm drinking my water.
I'm sorry, a mosquito bit me. I had to.
You will tell a lie what the truth will do. You,
Oh,
bruh. Look, what you need to worry about is who the hell called you 30 minutes ago. That's what you need to worry about. Telling me why my knees hurt. Shit. Anyway.
That's all the way in Las Vegas. There's no story to tell.
Oh, great. Because what goes in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? And it's not Star Trek's The Experience either.
It ain't me either.
Oh,
I'm right
here. But anyway, it's just that I can't speak on if you're a different race or you're a different culture, ethnicity, even what you want or what you desire. I just know that I took Far Beyond the Stars very seriously. Very seriously. At the end of it, they put in a compromise to Benjamin Sisko's character that he was dreaming. And it makes me think how many compromises were done for all minorities in all of Trek just to make them sellable to the audiences, to the masses.
Oh, a lot. Even starting with the original series.
That's the point. I want something real, raw, and authentic, untouched, unbiased, not metaphorical, not just
see. Okay,
just give it to me.
So this is the thing. So if economics is not an issue, then you've got to assume that people's behavior would change. And because people's behavior would change, a lot of other things would change as well. Right. And so our current culture probably wouldn't look the same in the future.
I mean, you're right. It probably wouldn't. So if that's the case, then why are other shows ahead in terms of representation compared to Star Trek?
So Star Trek has become this behemoth, right? This large thing, right? And you've got to please this, you got to please that, you got to please this. And so if a show is coming up fresh, there's no one that they need to please, right? There's no segment of their audience that they have to keep and hold. They're just starting new. And if you like what we're doing, you're going to continue to watch. Whereas with Star Trek, look at the backlash that Burnham got by being a black woman,
just for being there, and that doesn't go without it. I'm not discounting that either. Definitely not discounting that. Like, yeah, Star Trek was already a thing, but I guess it's like, yes, I know 50 years was literally right around the corner ago. I know. But if we are, I read something you once said where you mentioned that Star Trek is an inclusive platform of diversity. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. we'll leave it at
Oh,
that.
I'm like, what? What did he read? Okay.
Oh, I read it. I read. I read it. Oh, I read it. I read the whole thing. Uh-huh.
No, but okay. So, like, something else that came to mind while you were talking was even within Star Trek, and some of these not everyone within the world of Star Trek views things the same way.
Right, right.
So,
Exactly. So there's no way, because it's just like what it means to me. So like for you, New Orleans, Louisiana. I do not. So what do you look for in terms of those representations when you think of Cisco's, when you think of that with those episodes during the post Borg invasion, all of that? What do you see? Now we all know that I'm not French, but we also know that Jean-Luc Picard's French accent was a bunch of crock shit.
Mhm.
We know this. We acknowledge this,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So that's what I'm speaking here. It's just like I got the freaking autobiography of Jean-Luc Picard. The man was born in France.
Mhm.
He spoke French up until he was a teenager, and then somehow just started speaking English, and somehow fluently. Why? I don't know. But there was nothing different about his character other than him having a pacemaker. And that's it. Meanwhile, everyone else has to have something. That's what I'm talking about. It's just like, oh, so with every other race, you can say that they are who they are and that's what they are. But when it comes to us, there has to be a compromise or something added to or taken away from it. You see what I'm saying?
So, what was the internal compromise around Nichelle Nichols' character?
She was born in Africa and she wore a wig half the time, but that was like,
Well, we can't count the wig, but you're saying the fact that she was born in Africa in the 23rd century was an issue when
should have
there's
said that she,
no.
yeah, because it's like I get how audience looked at her as an African American, as a black character, but by definition, she's not. She might be an African American actress, but she is not African American. She's African.
Yeah.
There's a
Um,
difference.
there is a difference. There's a market difference, but I guess what I'm doing is I'm trying to
See what
go
I'm trying to.
300 years in the future when like all the economic issues that we're currently dealing with, you know, most of Africa,
Oh
especially
yeah,
sub-Saharan Africa, is, that it's a less developed. Those countries are less developed countries, most of
right,
them, not all of them.
right.
But in the future, that won't be the situation. And I
Okay,
could see that those countries would be a bit more cosmopolitan,
right,
a whole lot more open,
right,
and therefore, and Manny says it all the time.
right.
Most of the world carries the black culture,
Yes.
even Africa. I've read a book, Born a Crime, by your boy, the Daily Show, whatever, Noah,
Yeah,
whatever.
Trevor Noah. Yeah.
Trevor Noah. There we go. He said many times in South Africa, their culture was the black culture. So if their culture was the black culture in South Africa, what do we assume was the culture in Africa itself, other parts of Africa?
I don't know. That's for them to say. I don't.
Well, just to extrapolate, we can only assume that they have adopted black culture. So her character or her ancestors would have adopted black culture.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a fair point. Let me ask you this: aside from Benjamin Sisko, can you name the, like, compromise or not? Can you name an African American character that we know in Star Trek?
And like born in the United States. Um, you said compromised or not?
Compromised or not?
Uh,
Born in the
well,
United States. Well, of course, at that point, it won't be the United States, but it's implied that from that region or somewhere in the Americas, somewhere in there. Well, hell, they'll have a one world
Well,
government, so it really won't matter. But
um, the only person that I can think, of, and she's definitely compromised, but she was born in the United States. I would assume it would be Rafi, because there's no one else. Jordy, as far as we know, wasn't born in the United States. Uhura, she wasn't. Travis Mayweather wasn't. Um, Many other characters who came from one episode or whatever, we don't really know. Yeah.
Do you know what's the sad part to me? I can name off, I can count on my hand how many white men that are main characters in Star Trek and where they're from.
Now that's a critique.
I know that Jim Kirk is from Iowa. I know that Charles Tucker is from Florida. I know that Picard is from France. I know that what's the dude? It doesn't matter at this point. But point is, I shouldn't have had to name them off just like that.
William Riker is from Alaska.
Chief O'Brien.
Bones is from Georgia.
Chief O'Brien is, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's Irish,
Scottish. I don't know, one of them.
Something like that. Yeah. They have, even though in that century they are more developed, they are and I hope they do it right at that point. They do have a one world government post World War III, all of that, right? All of that. They have the US dollar is gone, poverty is abolished, all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. But you still grab these people from this land, but when it comes to people that look like me, they can't. That's where I have a problem. I need that. I don't give a damn if they're from Oregon. I don't give a shit. Like, can you please give me someone that is real? And yes, in that future, people will be born on Naomi Wildman was born on Voyager. I get it. You know, everything is gonna happen.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Just a question.
Go ahead.
Do you think the reason Uhura was born in Africa, or her character was born in Africa, was so that they could say, okay, white America, this character was born in Africa, the standards that we have for African Americans, scrap that, she's from Africa. Fast forward to TNG. Now, the whole fact that Geordi's last name is French. Okay, so I get it. You know, his family is from Africa. You know, the France colonized a whole portion of Africa. I get it. I get that.
Okay, go on.
But even by then, we're talking about the very late 80s into the 90s. By that point, we should have been able to say, nah, bro, he from south side of Chicago. You know, I'm just saying, like, it should have been like, okay, like, it's okay. We can say that. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you 100%. Like, you got that. You got that. Even what's her name? Burnham. Okay, she grew up most of her life on Vulcan, but her parents, her mother could say, "Hey, I'm from Kentucky." You know what?
Okay. Cool. And obviously, in the world of Star Trek, there's nothing wrong with leaving Earth. Like, there's nothing. I mean, that's what you're gonna do. You know, like, cool. it's space exploration. What do you of course. But it's just one of those things where if I can't name off an African American character where they're from, where a African American would typically be from, yet I can name off almost everyone else. Like we don't really know everyone's history. We really don't. I'm not going to lie and say that we do. But the fact that I can name off 4 or 5 of them just like that, and you could too, and they were all white men.
It says something.
That's why I think that Trek is behind in terms of authentic Black representation in compared to other shows. And it's a critique. It's a harsh critique, very harsh critique. But understand, and I know you agree with me, and I understand a lot of things, but it doesn't make me love Trek any less. Like, I'm glad we got what we got. I'm glad we went as far as we did. I remember the hell that was risen when Michael's name first came out. Just for her being Black alone, being a woman, and then her name is Michael. They tried everything they could to sell her, and I recognize that because it's Hollywood or anything else, they had to wrap her up in a pretty package to sell her to the audiences. Otherwise, the show was not going to do good. I get it.
But this is what we learned from that show. If you love Star Trek, you're gonna watch it no matter what. So
you're gonna watch it. You're gonna watch it no matter what. So shut the fuck up. So that being said, we have reached our time as far as an hour goes for Black Trek and what is Black representation. Yay! Let's make sure we're not in cuffs, guys. So just put one hand down. Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, this is really good episodes, really enlightening, and it's helped me realize some thoughts from you, some thoughts about myself that I didn't really know that I had, that I was harboring all along.
Until you spoke them.
Oh yeah, because I was like, I love Star Trek. I love everything about it. But and I'll watch it to the day that I die. I hope that our world reaches it before Earth catches on fire. But I don't think as where it is right now, realistically, all I see is I don't see realism when I watch those Black characters. I see stereotypes, and I see stereotypes washed with 24th century ideology. That's it. For the most part. Like, I did take issue watching Travis's parents. I did take issue knowing where Cassidy is from. And it's not me looking down upon them. No, not in the least. It's that I don't see anyone that's where they're from that's
elevated.
Yeah. And if there were, I wouldn't say shit at all. I wouldn't say shit. So anyway, do you have any? Those are my final thoughts. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, I don't really have any final thoughts. I just want to say, stay Black, stay loving, continue to love, and enjoy the journey.
See you guys. Live long and prosper, buddies. And happy Black History Month.